So I'd like to start off by saying I really appreciate the feedback I got from other classmates and also getting to see a lot of your guys' videos. It really helps seeing how to approach things in a different way and also how to make mine better, things I can improve on. A little upset that we're not using the manipulatives again, as I was excited to fix certain things I messed up, but I guess we can use that in the subtraction and really make it the best it can be. So to start, for introducing integer addition to students, I would definitely use the manipulatives. I really like the chips. I think that they're great to help the children understand different definitions and our zero pair especially, and make them really see that nice visual. I would definitely use the chips for the smaller examples so that they can grasp the concept, and then from there move on without the chips and be able to actually do the addition without having to see a visual in front of them. I would also use a number line just as a backup, make sure we really understand it, and then for the kids who are struggling to understand the chips, they can use the number line as well. I think it's extremely important that we pay attention to the correct language. If us as teachers struggle with the language, then the children are definitely going to struggle with that. I know I did in my first video, and so I really want to fix that for my next with the subtraction, making sure that I give a clear, concise definition and that I am repeating my words very often so that they hear it and get familiar with it. And then also making sure I'm using the correct words. So with additive inverses, the zero pair and the opposites, being sure not to say nothing or it goes away, and making sure that they really understand the whole idea behind the zero pair and that there is something there and we have to understand that. I think it would be great to define these with the chips and for them to see what that is. I thought it was really cool for people's manipulatives that when they put the positive and negative chip together, it made a separate color so that they could see there is something and it's not nothing. So just as in any other subject, I believe that the student's prior knowledge is key, and without that we're not going to do very well. I believe that they need to recognize the opposite signs. If they don't understand the opposite signs, they won't even be able to understand that there's positives and negatives or the zero pair. We also would have priorly used the number line, and so that they could know where to place different numbers, how they can move within the number line, and that way they understand when we're doing the addition. So for my 23 plus 38, the way that I think I would work with this is I would really ask my students to focus on the zero pairs. So we talked about, well, we match them up. So we use our positive and our negatives and create zero pairs. So what is the most amount of zero pairs that you could make? So we know that we have 23 positives, and so at most we'll be able to make 23 zero pairs, which means we're going to need 23 negatives. So what I would have the students do is we would take this and rewrite it. But let's break up the negative 38. So instead of negative 38, we know it's negative 23 and it's negative 15. Because we know that to make 38, we need 23 and 15. And so seeing this, we know that this 23, the positive 23 and negative 23 are additive inverses, and so they create a zero pair, and all we'll be left with is our negative 15. I think that would be really important to use the zero pairs as much as we are explaining that, and we wanted to keep focusing on the zero pairs. So I would hope that they would understand it this way and be able to break it down, and then it would help them. I believe that we could also use a number line if we needed to for them to check their work, but just like the chips, I think it would be a little bit much, and it would be a really long number line, and they'd have to keep doing over and over again. So this is how I would do it, and see you guys next time.